what came to me last night to kind of examine is when we say things like, I am worthy, I am valuable, I am enough. And we see it everywhere online, right? But what does it mean to us, specifically, individually? What does that word actually represent for us? And so this came about because I was having a conversation with someone earlier this week, and I told them that, that I am enough. And they didn't understand that statement because they felt as though, how can you be enough if you're not meeting XYZ expectations? Now, these expectations were coming from them, or what they deemed to be worthy or acceptable. And so they didn't understand that I could have my own expectations that are maybe not society's expectations or a certain group's expectations, right? And that could be valid. So I know a lot of us are very much ahead of the curve and, emotionally intelligent and spiritually aware, and, you're above and beyond that, right? You have that deep understanding. But there are a lot of people who haven't separated themselves from these ideologies, right? From sort of the old way of thinking about self-worth and internalizing their own definition and their own meaning, right? So that they can in turn qualify themselves. Because when you get to that point, now you can walk around with your head held high, strong in your beliefs, and no one can tell you nothing, right? So, and I don't mean that in a egoic, cocky way. I just mean that you are confident within yourself, because no one can give you the confidence. You know what I mean? No one can say, oh my God, you're amazing, you should be confident. And you could hear that, but if it doesn't register from within, because of, right, all the other layers of junk that has distorted that self-image, then it doesn't mean anything. You're going to vibrate as someone with lower self-esteem or without deeper knowledge of yourself, right? So enough, when we think about the word enough and we say I am enough, if we look at the Webster's dictionary, it says occurring in such quantity, quality, or scope as to fully meet demands, needs, or expectations. Now, it doesn't say whose expectations, right? It doesn't specify that. It just says occurring in such quantity, quality, or scope as to fully meet demands, expectations, or needs. So what is the implication? The implication is that these demands, needs, or expectations can be that of yourself, right? Those that you create for yourself, or those that another entity creates for yourself. You get to determine where the measurement of that worth and that standard is placed, right? Or where you're pulling it from. So I think we're so used to it being the standards being measured by something outside of us, right? Like school systems, churches, families, communities, government, all these other entities, right? So it's not like we're used to following rules, we're used to following guidelines, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, I'm just saying, let's be clear about whose standards we're following and where we derive the feelings of enoughness and worth from. Okay? Because it's your choice, and at any given moment you can make a different choice, is what I'm saying. So the power is in your hands. It's always been in our hands, right?